I don't know if I'm the only person that looks for varieties that feels this way, but it feels like when you find one find, you start finding quite a few. And that's exactly how today has been. I will sometimes go weeks without finding anything at all, and when I do find something, it's minor and it really wasn't even worth my time to begin with. But sometimes you have that one moment, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, sometimes you just get on a hot streak for a while and you just start getting awesome stuff. Well, today was hopefully the start of a hot streak for some good varieties because I have not found anything exciting in quite a while. I've been going through an old collection of flips from probably 30 years ago, and I finally hit one I've been looking for years and have not been able to find. First off was a 1956 double die reverse proof scent. It's DDR number 2 or 1DR004 proof. And yes, there are proof double dyes on wheat scents. There are actually quite a few, and some of them are Cherry Pickers Guide varieties. But this one wasn't even in a proof labeled flip. It looked proofy, and I thought, well, I'll just check the reverse because I know there are some decent double dyes in that year. And sure enough, that was one of them, and I'm glad I checked that proof reverse. The second one I found was also pretty cool. It's FS501 for 1956D. And this is a really strong repunch mint mark that's kind of rotated to the west. I've found these in the past in much nicer condition, all the way into nice BU condition. So it wasn't the most amazing find, but it is a strong repunch mint mark that, even though it's circulated, it's still a nice looking RPM, and I was happy to at least find one. Now for the record, at the shop, I don't usually search any brown wheat scents and common dates where there's not a major variety to find because it's just not worth my time. I don't ever make up my salary in looking through those. But this happened to be in the pile. I accidentally threw it into my Unk Red pile of coins that I had. So I ended up looking at it and just happened to be the RPM. So it was a decent find for a happy little accident. Next up is one that I don't see very frequently, but I'm always excited to find when I do because it's one of my favorite varieties. It's 1963D FS101 for a memorial scent, and it has that awesome secondary 3 that's kind of in the middle of the bottom of the 3. This is going to be one of those early to early middle dye states where you can actually see the bottom portion of the 3 because in later dye states it does get worn down from dye wear and polish, so you don't see that lower portion of the 3 in later dye state. Fourth is one that one of my customers brought in today, so I didn't find it, but I'm glad we got it because it is something I think people will find neat. It's the 1982 No FG Reverse Kennedy Half Dollar FS901. And this customer had looked through all of their change to see if there's anything significant about what they had before they brought it into the shop. Most of what they had was stuff I said that's safe to take to the bank, but they pointed this out to me and I looked it up and sure enough, it was the right dye, had the right dye markers, the polish lines, everything looks great about it. It is FS901, and yeah, it's not worth a lot of money because it's slightly circulated, but it's still a pretty cool variety, and I'm sure I can find somebody who wants to add one to their collection for not a lot of money. But the win of the day. Oh, you don't know how long I've searched for this coin. It's been elusive to me. It feels like I should have found one by now because I've looked at thousands of this year of wheat scent, and this is the only one to date that I have found. I've made videos about it, I've used it as an example, but this 1917 double dye obverse is the only one I've ever found, ever. And it looks pretty darn worn out, but it does exist, and I'm excited just to have found one. That's one of those Cherry Pickers Guide varieties I've had on my list to hopefully find. After years of searching through thousands of 1917s, I was beginning to wonder if I'd ever find one at all. In my opinion, drop the rare one. It's not it. How many pennies do I have on my floor? That was scary. It appears I have a lot of wheat scents on my floor. I need to sweep. Yeah, this is the 1917 double dye. I'm ecstatic to have found one because I was expecting to have another time of going through a bunch of 1917s with no results. In this particular group of wheat scents I was going through, there were more than 50 1917s in it, and it was the next to last one that I had in that group of 1917s. So it feels good. Sometimes if you're looking for varieties, you'll have those times where you don't find anything. You have really dry spells. Back when I used to search varieties every single day just about, just in my free time because that was my hobby and my passion, it was rough for sometimes because I would go through weeks where I didn't have any significant finds, but then it felt like stuff just started falling on top of me almost because there was so much stuff coming out of the woodwork that was just really awesome to pick up. But if you have those dry times, hang in there because eventually you'll start finding stuff again. It's a numbers and statistics game. That's all it is. The more you look at, the more you're likely to find. If you look at the right types of years and material, you're more likely to find something as well. Now, finding like a couple $8 coins, maybe a couple $20 coins, and even a $100 coin isn't a lot for looking for a long period of time. But that in conjunction with other minor repunchment marks and double dives you might find in certain years you search can actually add up to a decent number of finds. And if you start looking for stuff in uncirculated material, nice unk red kind of stuff, you're more likely to find a good solid find when you actually hit one versus picking one that's circulated. If you're going through circulated material, you're going to find circulated stuff. And in instances like this, that FS 501 1956D, unfortunately, it's not in a good condition. If it was a nice unk red, it would be a great find, but in an AU that has a little circulation wear to it, it's just not a great find because there are ones out there and it's an accessible coin. Nonetheless, I mean, do celebrate the victories when you actually do find some decent stuff, especially back to back to back, because it does feel pretty good when you find enough stuff to where you feel like it's actually becoming worth your time again to start looking. Well, that's enough about those for now, but I do have a video planned to come up pretty soon where I talk about some strategies you can implement in your variety hunting so that you actually have a better chance of finding something that was worth the effort you put into your hunt. A lot of people are looking through material they don't realize is actually to their detriment. They're not going to find something that actually makes up the time and effort they're putting into it, and they're going to find stuff that's in lower quality. But there are some things you can do that can really turn the odds in your favor, where you can find a really solid variety and a solid grade with a much better chance that that actually happens. But if you like seeing the 5 variety coins that I found today, well, 4 that I found and 1 somebody else did, I would appreciate you hitting the like button below. And if you want more content about varieties and other types of numismatic stuff, I would appreciate you hitting subscribe and notification button as well, so you'll be notified when I have new stuff posted. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope you find a 1917 double die a lot faster than I did.